Today we're going to be looking at scaling. Scaling is a very important thing, and your time, time is your greatest resource. I know your time and energy, but time is your greatest resource. You may not really have the money to push yourself forward, but time is your greatest asset. And so when you invest that time into something or a thing, you are literally subtracting from the core, the purpose that you're supposed to go for. You have to be very, very disciplined. One of the things that will help you will be discipline and focus. I know a lot of people say that discipline and focus, but rather than discipline and focus, I'll just say that you have to commit to the process. Commit to when you wake up in the morning and you say that you are going to dedicate 2 hours to invest into your business, because if you don't invest, if you don't give into it, you can't drop. There was a time that I was wishing I had $10,000 in my account, but I said that, yeah, I wish, but did I work for the $10,000? Did I work for it? Like, did I put in the effort? Did I even do something? Did I even create a system? And I laugh for that. It was like I could make it now, but I did not create time to put in the work or to create time to create the system, so I wasn't qualified to have access to it. So it is not going to be so different. If it were to be that wish, okay, if it be that wishy, I think just about anybody would have gotten to the level that they are looking for. But it's not like that. So you need to put in the energy, you need to put in the work, you need to come into the realization that it's going to need you to take the steps. If you don't take the steps, it's not going to happen. So this time I want to talk about very foundational stuff. And it's about scaling, the third aspect of what I was talking about. Scaling would involve your energy and your time, but not in like so much. But the principle of scaling has a foundation, okay? The foundation is you're bringing yourself into a process called value add, and you're going to apply a process that I call automation. Now, the foundation of scaling is more like what we've been building up, what's selling one to many. But then selling one to many is also a principle whereby your energy, there is a certain amount that your energy can take in a particular day. Instead of an average, you work for, let me say per hour, you're working for, let me say 8 hours in a day. An average. What are the rest of the maybe like the other 8 hours or 16? What are you doing? So you are actually, because you're not working, you're leaving money on the table. So if you check out people that are successful right now, Warren Buffett, all this kind of thing, if you're thinking of exchanging your time for money, you will not really come into that awareness yet. That's why the foundation is to come into what we call productized services, whereby you're not exchanging your time for money, but now you are actually making money in time. Now, it looks a little bit awkward, but the foundation is to say passive income. But I usually bring it into scenarios. I usually call it the linear progression and the geometric progression. The linear progression will be the time value of money, where you are actually involved in exchanging your time for money. And the geometric progression is when you are literally not exchanging your time for money, but you are exchanging value for money without you necessarily being in the system. But however, this is just one way of like really scaling. But I gotta tell you that it's the most effective. Yes, I could tell you to optimize your process, sell one to many, have more customers that you're selling to. But the idea to really scaling into the number that you want, aside from maybe writing your goals down, the idea to really, really scaling is to find a way to inject automation into what you do. That's just the foundation. Now, for me, in terms of scaling and the process, I'm telling you that if your systems and processes are not right, when you scale, you will break. When you scale, you will break. So you make sure that you need to have those systems intact. Now, there is the linear scaling and there is the geometric scaling. Now, the value for money actually eliminates you being the person involved. You need to have Tyler Perry says something, then you need to have a moat in your business. Let it be hard for people to get to you directly most times in doing business. Make it hard. I'm telling you that if you wanted to go see Warren Buffett now, to be hard. Okay? That's it. So if you could do more, should you? I know that sometimes people say that if you cannot make money while you sleep and you've not figured out and you need to make money while you sleep, listen. The certain amount of energy that you have, life is about managing your energy. Before I thought that it was about, really working hard, working 24/7. But later I just realized that it's about managing yourself. According to Peter Drucker, we don't understand ourselves, and so we tend to lose a lot. You have to manage yourself. Until I learned how to manage myself, because if you cannot be in that high state, you cannot be hyper productive. And that's what you're looking for. It's not about putting your nose to the grinding stone. Sometimes you get to relax. And I'm telling you, the idea of the 4-hour work week, although sometimes there are two sides to the case, but the idea of the 4-hour work week is very, very valid if you understand the principle. Not that you are spending your time on the same remote tasks or you're actually eliminating work, but you're actually putting yourself into doing work that matters. Because I won't say that you will always be free. The foundation as to what you should live and desire to do is to get from the linear aspect of it to the geometric aspect of it. And the guy who wrote Tim Ferriss, he said that naturally it talks about significance in the sense that you are actually doing work now that will help you free more time in the future. That's the foundation. What will you be able to do now? I know that you are trying to catch up a lot, doing so much more. What will you do for today to help you, like you're planning for tomorrow, that will be able to save you more time for the future so that you can focus on the high level stuff? In the principle of scaling, if you can scale effectively, you will have to learn and understand how to delegate, how to hire the right people. But the idea is that for you as a solo business, for you as a solopreneur, for you as a network marketer, you need to understand those things. And in geometric progression, some of the things that you need to understand will be how to advertise. Psychology of advertising is very essential. Psychology of advertising is very, very essential. And you learn how to manage the systems that you've created. Because you're going to develop a product which already you have in terms of service. But I want you to transition towards developing a product. What do they need that your market isn't providing? And just see how you can bring that in. Maybe just one stuff, maybe just two stuff, but maybe it might just be a guide, maybe it might just be a workflow, maybe it might just be a book, maybe it might just be an audio podcast, but anything that can enable you to reach out to many without necessarily exchanging your time for it. Alright? Geometric progression, where you are always exchanging value for money. Value exchange for money, not the time exchange for money. Let it be value, because people pay for value. It's not always that people have to pay for time, which is still value, but people can pay for the value itself without necessarily involving your time. So there is a whole lot of principle as to scaling, and I want to use this opportunity to invite you to my strategy workshop. Some of these things I was talking about are just literally, on the surface. There is a psychology of influence. There's a psychology of persuasion. There's a psychology of buying, where you understand what makes a consumer to buy or purchase a product. There is even the psychology of hiring the right people. Who do you bring on your team? So I want to invite you to my strategy workshop, where I'm going to be breaking down the processes, the parts and the pieces into how you scale. I negotiate my price these days. And that's just it. I've immersed myself to understand how. So we learn all those things. We learn how to carry yourself, how to relate with people, because your friends, your mentors do determine to a great extent what shows up in you. But how do we get into this level and to build strong friendship? So I'm inviting you, because we're going to be looking at advertising, media marketing, psychology of influence. We're going to be looking at things. And if your goal is monetary, I can tell you that you can get to it and even pass it. So I hope that this process in this series that you've been listening to and you've been engaging with was really helpful to you. There's not so much that we can contain in this, but I'm inviting you to a one-on-one strategy workshop where I listen to you, listen to your business, and provide solution. And let me just give you a tip of the iceberg. Sales process has changed. Sales process has changed. The sales strategy has changed. It's evolving constantly. If you check some of the top brands, one of the things that happen to them is sometimes they plateau for a while. They are trying to lose grounds, and you know that with the systems they are having, if they try to lose grounds, they will not be able to maintain those processes. And definitely life happens. Nature can have life. You can have COVID. You can have any kind of pandemic. And some of them, they lose clue. I'm telling you, their strategy. I was just looking at one of the Gillette ads, and I was like, wow, these guys are always on the top of their games as to how to get people to actually patronize their products and their services. Because if you leave it like that, that's especially in the rise of the small micro businesses, a lot of people are competing for attention. So they have a different kind of strategy. Even Apple, they have a different kind of strategy. And all these things is what we're thinking. All these things, I'm telling you, I have literally immersed myself in being able to spot ideas, being able to spot trends, even before they become obvious. Say you were able to get on the edge before Facebook. But that's how stuff works. You go ahead of every other person and start to build every single person, because it's the market that decides. Anticipating human needs ahead before they even know that it's obvious. You need to be able to answer the questions that are going on in their mind. You need to be able to, even before they say it, you need to be able to answer the question before they even realize that it is something that they need to pay attention to. So always at the edge to create new improve, new strategies, new ideas, new invention, new innovation in whatever you do as a business. So that is the psychology of scaling. That's the psychology of scaling. It's a lot, but I am going to be able to help you. Now, if you need me to come in one-on-one process to help you, structure your business, from the time that we talked about structured business, for me to come in to help you in product crafting, re-engineering things that work, to actually help you to identify the gap in the market and see how you can tap with the market in the gap into the potential of that market effectively, and see how you can outbeat your competition, smart your competition, that they can't even do what you can do. They can't even replicate what you do, because there's a psychology to it. Everybody has a trade secret. So with all these things that I'm doing, I am inviting you to my 1 week strategy masterclass. I'm going to show you exactly how you can get the skill. And as much as most of you are going to get it, I'm going to show you how to even grow beyond that. So that's the foundation. And this is the opportunity that I'm bringing to you. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You never can get it elsewhere. Of course, for some of you that have struggled for a while, you know what it means. See, I condensed all these things in my 7 years experience and give it to you, boom, until you get it. And it's not just the experience that I'm to experience, it's the experience you result. Last time someone came and I was consulting with the person, they invited me to the team. I told him how much I was going to get. Can I shock you? We're talking about 7-8 figures right now. Contract was signed for me. That's how massive it is. So we're not talking about just now. As I have been able to share with you, you've been able to see value. And I'm telling you that as you continue, it will come to a time that is instinctual. You might not necessarily need me. And that's the coaching aspect that I provide. You might not necessarily need me, but you'll be able to produce results instinctually. And you're so conscious, you know what to do, you know how to manage, you know how to lead, you know how to take advantage. To us is a world of opportunity, but our eyes are not open to it. To some of you, you literally need someone to clear that self-doubt and walk you through the aisle. For some of you, you want that energy, someone to be there so that the person can help you walk and help you win. Then you can fly. So this is what I'm inviting you for. I'm inviting you to come into a program, the system that will really transform your life. But Does it make sense to you? Is it worth it? Then it is worth it. I'd like you to join me on the next Strategy Summit. So, do take care, enjoy yourself, and see you in the next level of success.